Would you believe me if I told you the two squares are the same colour? Well, they are, and I'll prove it to you. As I move this grey square onto the top, you can see that it's the same colour. As I move it to the bottom, you can see it's also the same colour. What we see is not necessarily what is there. And the reason we see something that is not there is because of context. The cues in the picture suggest the light is coming from above because there's a blue sky and there's a shadow on the brown. Our brain therefore assumes that the bottom slide is in the shadows, and considering we can still see it, it must be pretty reflective, and therefore lighter than the top slide. If I start to take away the context, things change a little. However, we still have a white colour on the top of the bottom slide, which makes our brains assume that it's light on top. If I turn it to the side, put a cover over the centre, we can clearly see that they're the same colour. Let's try another visual illusion. Which way is the dancer turning? Some of you will think to the left, and others may think to the right. Look at the dancer in the middle. If you think she's turning left, then look at the picture to your left for a few moments. Then look back to the middle. Has she changed direction? Move your eyes to the left and right, then back to the centre, and it will look like she keeps switching, even though the image is just the same. Our brain is pretty amazing, and psychology is the scientific study of the brain and behaviour. As a subject, it strives to investigate just how amazing the brain can be. In GCSE Psychology, you will explore a number of topics. The first 4 on the list here are covered in Year 10. You'll learn about your memory, how does it work, why do you forget things, and could there ever be such a thing as a false memory? You'll learn about perception, how we see the world and factors that can affect that, like our culture and social information. Development, which varies from how the brain develops in the womb to how your learning develops through your school experiences. And research methods, which is all about how psychologists do their investigations, from running experiments to observations, interviews to questionnaires. In Year 11, you'll cover the next 4 topics. Social influence, which is about the people around us and how they influence our behaviour. Language, thought and communication, so how we relate to other people, and also things like animal communication and how it differs from human language. The brain and neuropsychology, which is the most biologically based part of the course. You'll learn about how your different areas of your brain are responsible for different things and what happens if someone gets brain damage. And finally, psychological problems, where you'll explore things like addiction and depression. Alongside exam practice and essay writing, you'll take part in a variety of interactive activities within your lessons, including practical experiments to be able to understand how to organise groups for psychological experiments, retrieval tasks and transformation activities like you can see on the screen. It's important to remember that there is maths within psychology. You need to be able to analyse the data of human participants to be able to show trends and patterns in their behaviour. So it's important to consider how you feel about learning and applying the following mathematical concepts shown here in your psychological studies. It's also important to remember that psychology is a science. So therefore, you'll be studying a number of scientific concepts, such as the ones shown here. Psychology can take you into various careers, from working with children to working in prisons, in hospitals, in sports, in the media, or as a counsellor. To finish, we're going to have some quotes from some psychology students who have studied GCSE previously. Psychology has given me a wider perspective on people's thoughts and why we think or say the things we do. Before I picked psychology, I would go throughout my daily life without noticing anything about people's behaviour. Now it naturally comes to me to link someone's behaviour or attitude with terms that I've learned previously in class. Psychology for me has been really interesting and fun to learn, as it's not just written work, but it also includes practical tasks which will help you understand the objectives that we're supposed to learn on that day. Some practical tasks will give you results which you would never have expected, and for me that's my favourite part, as I like receiving unexpected but interesting results. I picked psychology because I always wondered how the human mind operates and how the brain develops over time. GCSE Psychology provides you with a range of skills such as scientific writing and critical thinking. It also gives you practical experience of conducting human experiments and will equip you with knowledge, understanding and skills appropriate for careers in a variety of sectors. It can be a tough course, but the best and most interesting GCSE subject I chose.